Let's speak about Warren Buffett, okay, and the advantages of investing in small companies. What is happening, investors? It is your boy Jack. I am not a financial advisor. I got the clothing line to prove that fact. And today we have a little bit of a different video. So on YouTube right now, there's an agenda going around that, penny stocks are very, very evil. And I'm a person who really does like understanding both sides of the story. And I know that a lot of people aren't going to come on here and share things such as this. And I genuinely want everybody who watches my videos to be as informed as possible and understand why I speak about the things that I do. And oftentimes when a lot of people are against penny stocks, they love value stocks and dividend stocks, alongside growth stocks, let's be honest. And a lot of people look to Warren Buffett as the greatest investor of all time, essentially. I don't blame them. He has done disgustingly incredible things throughout his career. And nowadays, a lot of people view Buffett as, outdated. They view Buffett as a pure value investor and dividend investor. You guys have to keep in mind how much money Warren Buffett has to handle. So today I want to speak about things like this. The advantages of investing in small companies. This article here called Invest Like Warren Buffett. Where back in 2006, somebody asks, Mr. Buffett, if you were starting over today and only had $1 million to invest, how would you do it? We'll speak about his answer to that question and why it's going to surprise an awful lot of people. And I just want to try to give a different perspective on why small cap companies aren't evil and investing in them isn't a bad thing, or, giving a certain percentage of your portfolio to them as an investor, as a retail investor, is not a bad thing to do. So my friends, right before we do get into this video, could I please ask you to hit that juicy like button if you appreciate content like this? Drop me a comment down below, let me know what you think about the video once you've watched it, and please, my friend, if you are indeed new around here, hit that juicy red subscribe button. Also, if you are interested in joining my private Discord group, that's the first link in the description, guys. In there you get access to all of my buy and sell alerts. You join a community of over 2,300 investors, access to over 50 private channels. It's juicy. We've made a lot of money in January. I've made 14% in the last 2 days. And if you're interested in getting 4 free stocks on Webull, that's the second link in the description, my friends. You have to sign up, deposit $100. It really is that simple. So in case this is the first video you've seen from me, or maybe this is your first financial related YouTube video you've seen, I would like to make very clear from the start that I don't think having a large portion of your money in penny stocks is smart by any means whatsoever, or small cap companies. They carry considerable risk. A lot of the time you're investing in companies who are working at a loss. A lot of the time there isn't much analyst coverage, there's no institutions in them, and a lot of people will see those as bad signs, but in fact they can be good things. And they are not my words, they are words from Warren Buffett 20 to 25 years ago. Now, I'm one of the people on YouTube who does think that there is a lot of money to be made when you choose the correct penny stocks. OEG, for example, is my highest conviction penny stock to date. I called them just over a month ago at $148 a share, wherever that was, and let's just say they're up over 500%. They reached over $10 yesterday. A month, we got a 6x return. I recently invested in BOIL. They went up 50% yesterday. I recently invested in TMDI. I'm up over 50% in them. But it's important to understand, my friends, you're allowed to invest in penny stocks. A lot of people see these as things you have to day trade or swing trade. They can be investments. And you're going to make a lot more money choosing a good penny stock than investing in a very well established company. And that is a fact. It cannot be argued. Now, if you're to choose a bad penny stock, you're going to lose money. They carry much more risk. But let's just get into this, okay? Invest like Warren Buffett. So, Mr. Buffett, if you were starting over today and only had $1 million to invest, how would you do it? What kinds of companies would you look to own? He was asked this back in 2006. Buffett didn't waste much time answering. If he were a retail investor these days with a limited budget, he would sock his money into smaller companies that the major institutions, including Berkshire, can't even think about investing in because they're too small. Think about it, guys. If a company has a $200 million market cap and you're Warren Buffett and you're handling $500 billion in assets, let's say, you cannot invest in that company. If you want to build in any way a substantial position, you are going to be bidding your own price up. You are going to be paying for shares that you are buying. It makes no sense. But if you're a person like me or you on the screen who has 1,000, maybe 10,000, maybe 100,000, maybe $1 million to play with, you can. So his answer to that question is, if you were a retail investor with $1 million, what would you invest in? The first thing he said is smaller companies that major institutions can't. He didn't give any specific names. He didn't say any big companies. He didn't say dividend stocks or value stocks. Smaller companies. And his second point, emerging markets where you can buy great businesses for next to nothing. What kind of penny stocks do I generally speak about on this channel? There's a couple that I really focus on, okay? TMDI that we spoke about the other day, okay? That's in robotic surgeries. Very quickly growing market that has orders coming in that is going to be the future of surgery, without a doubt in my mind. I also have certain technologies. OEG, I was really interested in all of their solar. I think solar is going to be absolutely huge. There have been some EV related penny stocks that have done massive as well, but in general, we have biopharma and we have tech, emerging tech. So literally, Warren Buffett's two primary answers are what we speak about on this channel when we speak about penny stocks. In 1999, Warren Buffett told Business Week, "It's a huge structural advantage not to have a lot of money. I think I could make you 50% a year on 1 million. No, I know I could, I guarantee that." He doesn't make near 50% a year now because he has to handle so much money. It wouldn't be possible to invest in these kinds of companies. And in a 2005 interview with a group of students, Buffett defended that statement. Yes, I would still say the same thing today. You have to turn over a lot of rocks to find those little anomalies. You have to find the companies that are off the map, way off the map. You may find local companies that have nothing wrong with them at all. You can't just blindly invest in every penny stock. As Warren Buffett says here, you have to turn over a lot of rocks to find those little anomalies. And I said in a video recently, for every penny stock I speak about on this channel, I've looked into 10 more that I'm not willing to speak about. And I probably only invest in one out of every, 5 or 6 that I speak about on the channel. So I've probably looked at 50 to 60 penny stocks for every one that I've invested in. Just keep that in mind, my friends. Warren Buffett says himself, having a lot of money to invest forced Berkshire to buy those that were less attractive. With less capital, I could have put all my money into the most attractive issues and really creamed it. So one of the most respected investors in the entire world, my friends, is a huge advocate for small cap investing. As a small investor, you don't have to sit on the sidelines. You can take advantage of the illiquid opportunities that the big boys like Buffett simply can't. But this is important, okay? But as Warren reminded everyone, just because he would love to invest in smaller companies doesn't mean he would change his underlying strategy. He still wouldn't speculate in companies he didn't understand. And we all know that's something that's incredibly important to Warren Buffett. He's not saying to blindly buy these companies. He's saying that if you do the research, if you understand what they are all about, then why would you not invest if they offer more lucrative returns than some of the bigger caps? Or at least why would you not allocate a portion of your capital to doing so? And this article right here brings up a couple of more things that I think people need to understand. So again, he was asked by somebody about small caps before. He says they tend to be less followed by analysts for one thing. Fewer analyst recommendations mean fewer institutional investors will be interested in the businesses. And again, a lot of people will see that as a negative thing, but it's not. You are getting in before the big money. If I told you right now I had a stock that I guarantee ARK Invest is going to buy in 2 days time, would you rather buy it before ARK Invest if you believe in the company, or after ARK Invest has bought and covered it? If I told you that the best analyst in the whole world is going to release a very bullish article on a company tomorrow, and you could invest in them now before that comes out, would you invest now or would you wait until that comes out? There's a lot of money to be made if you beat the analysts, my friends. And I know a lot of people will think that's impossible, but it's been done so many times. It's not impossible. If you find good companies, okay, analysts are going to cover them. Let's take OEG for example again. I cover them. I think there was one analyst rated potentially at $9. Maybe there was a couple. Just recently, after they hit $9 a share, a new analyst started covering them, put a $15 price target on them. I found them at $148. That represents 10x, and that's an analyst saying that. So don't think that analysts covering a stock is necessarily a bullish thing. If you find a company that looks incredible, that you understand, that you have done your DD on, and the analysts aren't covering it, that's a good thing for you. You are beating the analysts. Another reason why small companies are often undervalued is that pension funds often cannot invest in them due to the way their mandates are structured. And that's very true. They have risks that they have to control. These kind of institutions are often only really allowed to invest significant sums in assets with low volatility in order to decrease the risk of drawdowns for retirees, which rules out many small businesses. Fact of the matter is, they're not allowed to invest in these companies even if they would like to. And that's why they're undervalued. Some of the big players may actually be aware of them, but they cannot invest in them because they have to manage the risk. Me and you have the luxury of not having to do that. We're allowed to invest in them. If I want to put $1,000 in a company, I can do it no matter who they are. Finally, these companies receive less media attention, which means less attention from retail investors. And as we've seen over the last few months with the smaller tech stocks, retail interest can have a non-negligible effect on stock prices. Again, I'm going back to OEG. There wasn't much media attention when I was covering them, and now you'll see Yahoo Finance, Seek and Alpha everybody covering them because they're becoming more mainstream, because the volume's up massively, because there's more people interested. But the reason it was so undervalued when I found them was because there wasn't people aware they existed, which is actually a good thing for you as an investor. Now, I do again want to stress the fact that I am not of the belief you should have a considerable portion of your wealth or of your portfolio in penny stocks. I personally don't. I probably have a little bit too much. I think I have about 10 to 15% of my portfolio in penny stocks at any one time. It's not the most in the whole world. All of the rest of it's in my long-term plays. There are some more swing trades in there, but the large majority of my money is going into my longer-term investments. But a lot of those still are, okay, if I bring you back to this initial article, relatively smaller cap companies. Now, it doesn't mean they have to be a penny stock, and they're in emerging markets. But you guys see from this video that a lot of the negative connotations that people are bringing up in regards to small cap companies and penny stocks aren't actually negatives. They can work in your favor as a retail investor, and this is why retail investors can, if they are doing things correctly, beat big institutions on a regular basis. Now, that's not to say you're going to do that if you blindly go into throwing all of your money at these random trash companies, but if you are willing to put the research in, if you look at 50 bad companies and find one good one, you can come out on top quite easily. But my friends, this was just a video I wanted to make. Again, you can see one of the most successful investors, one of the most respected investors of all time, who is now seen as a value and dividend investor, loves small cap companies, and I'm sure that if he only had $1 million or $5 million, that's where he would be putting the majority of that money. It's not just degenerates, it's not adrenaline junkies, it's not people who don't care what they're investing in these companies. A lot of us put in a lot of time and effort into finding good ones. But anyway, my friends, that was my video on this. I really do hope you enjoyed. I know it's a little bit different. If you did enjoy, could I please ask you to hit that juicy like button, drop me a comment down below, and please, my friend, subscribe if you're new around here. And again, if you are interested in joining that private Discord group, that is the first link in the description. Join that juicy community of over 2,300 investors, baby. And if you want those free stocks on Weibo, that's the second link, my friends. Anyway, guys, I hope you all have a beautiful, blessed day. I'll see you in another video soon. Peace.